What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, you know him, you love him. I don't remember, is this like the fourth time he's been on? Vince Warry is back, my man from Canada. Oh, Canada, you rock. Vince Warry, the big records rocker. Oh my goodness. He's going to be back in the program telling me what's going on, what's new, and what's happening in the world of Vince Warry music. So stick around for that. This week's shows, let's see, I have three public shows this week. So excited that I still get to DJ for the people and party with you. On Wednesday night, I have Ladies' Night over at Mally's Entertainment in Conway, Arkansas. The video dance party, getting the people on the dance floor, making them feel good. Now, Mally's Entertainment in Conway, Arkansas. If you haven't been there, if you haven't heard of it, where have you been? It's over 50,000 square feet of fun and entertainment. They got a bowling alley, like a full bowling alley. Video games, big giant video games, like a big Space Invaders and Pac-Man and all kinds of other video games. And then they got escape room, laser tag, bars. They got 2 bars. They got a kitchen with some really good food. And they got specials like every day has like a different special. Chicken wings and burgers and pizzas and oh my gosh, all kinds of really good food. And then some of this fancy stuff too. So, yeah, go over there, check out the menu, have some drinks, play some pool. Yeah, they got pool tables as well. They got party rooms if you want to have little parties in your party rooms. And they got a big, gigantic stage that I get to be on all by myself on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 at Mally's Entertainment. And then on Thursday nights, you get to share the big stage with me at Mally's Entertainment. I'm back, baby. Thursday nights for the karaoke video dance party. Yeah, video dance party karaoke jam at Mally's Entertainment on Thursday nights. So excited. Oh my gosh. People are playing pool. People are dancing. They're wiggling. I see the people in the bowling alley because I could see the bowling alley. I could see the bar and I could see the video games. The escape room and the laser tag are behind walls just to the left of me. But I could see people wiggling around and dancing. How are you supposed to bowl a ball while you're dancing? It's fun. You're having fun with your friends, and I'm okay with that. So dance around while you're bowling. That's fine. But you get to be a part of the show on Thursday nights from 6 to 9. Come do some karaoke at Mally's Entertainment. And then on Friday night, my usual Friday night gig. My goodness, I've been at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday nights, at least Friday nights. It was Friday and Saturday nights for a little while there. But Friday nights is my night to shine over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas for the video dance party karaoke jam from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. Just 4.5 hours of solid fun. And you're the stars of the show at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Full bar, kitchen's open. They got some good food over there at the Rab too, Friday nights. And then 10 diamond-style pool tables and a pool tournament. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money, check out the pool tournament on Friday nights. So, you can play pool, you can have some drinks, have some fun, good people, and of course, sing a song. You get to be the stars of the show. So excited to be playing for you and with you. Mally's on Wednesday and Thursday nights from 6 to 9, and then on Friday night, over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Conway, Arkansas. Oh, my goodness. You're so good to me. I appreciate it so much. Speaking of entertainers, let's get into it with Vince Warry. I got him on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version of this, check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Vince Warry now. Do, don't worry. Do.
How's it going?
Be happy. Don't worry. Vince Warry. What's up, man?
I like how you have me as Vince Warry the Narcissist.
Yeah.
That's a good sale for pitch, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking of. Mr. Narcissus, always looking at a mirror, admiring himself, just loving on himself. But of course, that's not what the song is about. But I'm getting way ahead of myself, man. What's been happening the last 7 months since we haven't spoke, Mr. Big Records, Mr. Big Time rock and roll star?
Dan, has it been 7 months?
It has been. I know there was it was like a year, then 11 months. I know we talked a lot before, like 3 times in a row within a few months. But then it's been several months. But the man's been busy. You're building on your legend that's already legend. Wait for it, dairy.
We've been doing a lot of non-original stuff. We've been doing a string of theater shows as Mojo Risin. I've been stepping into Jim Morrison's shoes for that, and the leather pants and such. Well, that's been a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Does it come with a wig? For those that are listening to the audio version of this, the man doesn't look like the Lizard King, really. Or does he?
The wig is in that black box I'm pointing at right now. It lives up there. So, yeah.
That's fantastic, man. Wasn't he was buried, we might have talked about this. He was buried in France, right? Or where's he at
Paris.
now? He's in Paris? Yeah. Man, it's amazing where his journey began and ended. Do you know the story of Jim Morrison and how where he started and where he ended?
I mean, I know the spiritual aspects of his story. So I know like the parts of his story that inspired him. And I know his end. And I know the spiritual side of his end, too, according to Ray Manzarek. So there's lots of good story there for sure.
Well, good. Well, hit me with it, because I'm guessing when you're on stage and you become the persona, some of this has to inform the character, whether or not that you tell the story of Jim Morrison or become the man. What parts inspire you the most about him?
Well, it's interesting, Dan, because I've done 3 tribute acts in my time. 4, actually. I've done The Cult, done Led Zeppelin, I've done the Tragically Hip, which is a Canadian band, and I've done The Doors. And 2 of those I've done, the lead singer has passed away. Gord Downey, our national hero singer of the Tragically Hip, passed away from a brain tumor several years back. And when I was singing The Hip, Gord, very much like Jim Morrison, was a brilliant poetic mind, and it was really intimidating to do Gord, but I didn't feel like I was getting much help. Keep looking up, because when I do Jim, I don't know, maybe it's because he was like a wild man and free and loose, if you will, but I swear that guy is out there and letting anybody tap into his energy when he wants, because there's just a swagger once you put those pants on and the wig on and the Ray-Bans on and you walk out there with the concho belt. It's like, yeah, all right. So, but yeah, I mean, I think our awareness of indigenous culture in North America has definitely grown so dramatically over the last decade. And Jim always tapped into that. I mean, that was like one of his earliest experiences, right? His fundamental experiences. And so up here in Canada, we're on this pretty important journey called reconciliation because of our checkered past with the indigenous people of our country.
Same.
And
same.
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah,
same.
Yeah. And it kind of feels like timely to be tapping into his energy at the shows and just sort of walking that path. So,
well, I say same. We were until about a month ago. I don't know what is happening in this country now. We are, we're at the hands of a toddler. Okay. He's just, I'm mad and I want this and I want it now. And this is how it is. And this is, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. I think that's probably a topic that's just best avoided.
No, it has to be touched upon because it's affecting you, my Canadian friend to the north. Trudeau is just flabbergasted, pretty much. Just doesn't know what to do with this man, and frankly, neither do we most of the time. I think the people that voted for him are kind of are you sure this is the way to go, boss?
Yeah, I read a really interesting article about the two different types of negotiating that people do. And the one that Trump does, they say, I believe off the top of my head, it's called distributive negotiating. And there always has to be a winner and a loser. Mm. And the other type of negotiating, the name escapes me off the top of my head, everybody comes away from the table with a little piece of what they wanted. And I think it's safe to say that that's the mature way to agree on anything, is to, make everybody feel like they've left the table with what they want or a little piece of what they want. But the other method is not a way to be a statesman, in my opinion. As you may remember, I do have a degree in history and I teach history. So I like to think I know, I specifically teach World War I and II history. And what's going on right now, and the mindset is very similar to a few characters back from the early 1900s. So, well,
it ties in perfectly with the latest offering you have, Narcissist. Okay, yes. It's classic, absolutely. Bro. And I'm wondering. All right, I'm going to get real here. Vince Warry, who hurt you? Who is the narcissist in this song? Who hurt you, man? Tell me about how this song came about, man.
I write all my songs. I was saying this just the other day, actually, and I said it when I released my single "I'll Never Be." People ask me, like, is this song about me? Or, which girlfriend was this song about, or whatever. And none of them are like, this is about you. It's always like just little pieces along the way that kind of fit together. Or more specifically, things I hear a lot of people talking about, other people talking about, and I talk to them about it, and I learn stuff, relationship stuff, and so that's just like I'll Never Be, just like The Narcissist. It's just little pieces of experience tacked together into one unit. So
you got to tell these people, calm down, Carly Simon. You're so vain. You think this song's about you? Come on, son. Oh my goodness. No, but hey, Narcissus, very much rooted in history. And I too, I do a podcast called What Makes You Smarter as well, that kind of runs through this feed along with my interview podcast, What Makes You Smarter. What Makes You Famous. But the What Makes You Smarter is generally all kinds of information, and anything that happened more than 1 second ago is history. So it's stuff from the past, and I appreciate history. And when you said the Narcissist, of course I had to go with the 8th century Narcissus, the Greek mythology of it. I mean, did that inform any part of the song when you wrote Narcissist, or did you even have that in mind while you're writing this, or you just knew the clinical term?
No big history lesson in this one. It's purely the clinical term. Absolutely. So,
well, I mean, there is much to be said about narcissism. It's been around for a long time. Narcissism at its worst is, well, at its best, it's taking care of yourself before others. And I guess you have to take care of yourself to an extent. Make sure that you are centered and in some kind of a shape before you can take care of other people. So narcissism, is that narcissism, or is that simply taking care of yourself?
I think if you're thinking about taking care of other people, the practice of making sure you're at your best before you try that is A-okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
If you're just thinking about yourself and making yourself okay, or your bank account, if we go back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, then yeah, definitely you're off track.
I forgot the empathy is a factor. True narcissist generally has no empathy for anyone else. It's but I think, all right, and I'm going to go with the politics of it as well. People voted for this narcissist because he does what's best for him, always what's best for him. And if what's best for him is also best for the country, I think that was the bet that his base, his votership was counting on, because they know he's always going to do what is best for him. He is going to come out on top. He wants to win. And if he takes us along with him, more power to him. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem the way it's going. Okay, the tariff thing. The tariffs I learned back in 1986 when I watched a little movie called Ferris Bueller. And they talked about the Holly Smoot tariff that was supposed to take us out of the Great Depression. It did not work. It sank us further into depression because our trade deficit grew more and more. Okay, but go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Okay, there's a couple of facts out there that I think are probably maybe not known as well. So if you remove the oil and the electricity that we send to the United States from the trade, then we are at the trade deficit. The oil that we sell to the United States, we sell at a subsidized rate. We give it to you cheaper than we could sell it on the world front. And the electricity that we send you powers much of the eastern seaboard. This is all stuff that we didn't have to think about.
No.
Like, I don't like where I am right now.
Yeah.
I don't like talking about this. It's gross, right? Like,
I'm also thinking about, I didn't know we got more oil from Canada than all of OPEC, all of the Middle East countries. I didn't know that we imported so many cars and that our car parts get sold to Canada so they can assemble the cars in Canada, or vice versa. They build most of the car and then we assemble the end result here in the United States. It was so much free trade since the 60s and solidified in the 80s. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, it's going back to the different types of negotiating and that mindset, it's been a mutually beneficial relationship. It has not been somebody said we need to hold up our end of the military on the north, but population-wise, we're much smaller, and we have the dew line that runs along the north of our country. Oh, I forgot one of the more important ones too, which is uranium. Comes from Canada and Greenland, curiously enough.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of pretty obvious things going on out there right now. Like, if you actually just sit back and look at the big geopolitical playboard, a lot of it makes sense. But Dan, I want to go to a quote that our Prime Minister used the other day, because I think it sums up where we need to get back to. And this is I don't know an American's thought on this president, but I know in Canada he's pretty well respected. And this is JFK. And if you know this one, it's history has made us friends, economics has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies. And I think that's a really good quote. I forgot the first part, which is geography has made us neighbors. History has made us friends. Economics has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies. That's a very good quote.
It's powerful, man. And this podcast that you're on right now currently is a learning podcast. Mostly I learn about the people that I'm talking to, but you specifically are a history teacher, and you have much that you can discuss that we could learn from history. Hopefully, President Trump, if you're listening, pay attention, okay? Because we got some history, some nuggets of information. It's not working, man. You cannot use the big brain that you have, that you told us about before the last election, and spout out nonsense, numbers that don't make any sense. Millions of people dying of fentanyl, millions and millions of people, tens of millions of people here in the United States dying of fentanyl that's coming from the Canada and Mexico.
And China.
And
all
China.
Of us, because we're all the same. Yeah. I guess if we're going to go into learning,
please.
I've been teaching this recently, and I can't believe how I was like, as I was teaching it, I was saying to my students, like, this is why history repeats itself. Like, you need to pay attention to this stuff. There was a fella who built Germany. Okay, his name was Otto von Bismarck, and he put Germany together. And he did it with that second type of negotiating that I told you about, that made friends with almost everybody. He niggled at France a little, but everybody else respected Otto von Bismarck. And the king, who let him do his thing, because he just wanted to party, died. And his son, Kaiser Wilhelm II, took over. Mm-hmm. And he had always thought his dad was weak. He wanted Germany to be great. Now, I can't say great again, but I can say great because it was new. And he fired Otto von Bismarck because he thought making deals where other people got stuff was weak. And he put his fist down, said, we want to have the biggest navy in the world. He put his fist down, we want to have colonial possessions. He put his fist down and took stuff and started making alliances with the people you don't want to make alliances with. And guess what happened within a few years? We don't want to go there again. That was World War I. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, because, all right, the whole make America great again. When has America been greater than we are now? Okay. Great again. What? Take us back to the 50s? Is that what you're saying? Thinking that great again was? And that's with every strike of every pen, it seems like that's where he's heading.
Yeah, it's another important point is doing a little bit of research and listening carefully to what he proclaims as, like you say, doing great again. His economics are really stuck in the 1980s. Like, he's talking about steel, and he's talking about coal, and he's talking about things that in a country that could be a tech leader, he's stuck in the past. Like, so.
Yeah, we don't make anything in this country anymore. Sadly, we do make technology. We do have the immigrants, the brains, the minds that come from all over the world seeking sanction, and they do come together and study together and make some great technology. There's some great minds from all over the world in this country.
Absolutely, as long as they're allowed to stay.
Exactly.
But the other thing too is, if I try to understand him, his protective tariffs are to bring industry back to the States. But you can't just. There's no factory in some of the things he's talking about, like a steel factory that you can just flip the switch and it's go time. That's been done since the 70s. So the world is a global system. Yeah. And, curiously enough, one of the things that, again, historically was troublesome for the states in both World War I and World War II was isolationism. It's not a good thing. to remain isolated for too long and not get involved in global things when they're calmer is a lot worse than responding to them when they're out of control. So
yeah, I know you say World War I and World War II are your specialties. Just before America got into the United States got into the war in 1941, we wanted to stay out of it. We wanted to stay out of this conflict that was ruining Europe. How do we expect that we were going to stay out of this? But I mean, I know there's conspiracy theories.
The biggest threat right now, because I know we're talking about it, and I think I heard the other day that he's even talking about the European Union now. And if he goes tariffing everybody, like our conversations in Canada now are like, I think it's maybe time to just hang up on being that like close trading partner and find new alliances and new trading partners. And it's just gross again. Like it's really frustrating.
Well, I'm fearful for it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And I'm sad that the alternative, if we would have voted for Kamala, would it have been any better? Probably not. You know, we had no choices of all the 8 million people in this country or whatever it is. We had those two.
That was a bad election. Like, I got to tell you and that's one of the problems with the two-party system. Like, up here we've got all kinds of choices. None of them are good right now either for us. But I don't know what's going on with. I think I think politics should be like jury duty. I think they should just pick people and be like, you're in politics for the next 4 years, and then you'll be gone. Yeah, because lifetime politicians, I don't trust them farther than I can throw them. So
no, it's correct. Go ahead.
I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you, I think we missed a song. I think I missed, if it's been 11 months, we missed We Are the Light. And that was my last single before Narcissist. And that's what this is all about, man. It's We Are the Light. Together we are always stronger. And we have to do our best not to let all this noise in the background pollute friendships like we have across lines and stuff like that, and like-mindedness and things like that. So
no, and I'm listening to the We Are Light, and I do appreciate that you take the time to make music videos, because I'm a video DJ. I do video dance parties. So on Friday night, well, actually, I have 3 public shows this week. So I have 3 chances to put out some Vince Warry songs, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll be Wednesday, I'm at Mally's in Conway, Thursday as well, and then Friday at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. And they're going to hear some Vince Warry songs, because I appreciate that We Are the Light has this really funky, it kind of looks like a Jim Morrison 1960s type, the glow lights. Who came up with that video idea?
Well, I have my guitarist and producer also does the videos, and he's a genius. I just kind of tell him, I want this to be like light, like if you can get light coming out of my eyes, if you can get like everything. And so, that's what we came up with.
Speaking of light, I do like the background. I'm trying to up my background for these videos as well. I bought some of those strip lights like you have there. Did you install all of that behind you yourself?
Yeah, that's my rough studio, my vocals and stuff just behind me. So,
are you able to put out good enough vocals that you could have your genius, guitarist and videographer, mix them down using those videos behind you?
The vocal tracks that I recorded here, and I send them to him. If over the last, like with Narcissist, and a couple of other songs along the way, we've had to do a little bit more arrangement discussion. And so as we've been doing arrangement discussion, it's just worked out best for me to go to his studio and record them. But if I miss anything, or if I'm not happy with anything, I'll just redo them here. So.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to teach some people how to be Vince Warry, how to record vocals in your own, because, you know, people can do that. There used to only be a handful or two handfuls of recording studios in the world that people would travel to or have to travel to get the right sound. But anybody with $1,000 worth of equipment or so can do that in their own home. So you have some. You have maybe a microphone set up with some sound, some sound dampening filters behind you. What kind of microphone is that back there?
That I just started trying a new one. It's called a Shure. I haven't actually done a recording on it yet, but what was like a it's a lesser brand. It's called Apex, but it's a suspended vocal mic with its own power source, which is tube, which makes the signal warmer. And I run it into a Focusrite Scarlett, which is the USB interface, and then into an Apple computer, where I actually only use GarageBand. I've been meaning to buy the up version of GarageBand, which is a I can't remember the name of it, but it's Apple's professional recording software.
The Final Cut, I guess it is, or cool, or not Edit. What is it? Apple the Final Cut, is that their thing?
No, it's not Final Cut.
Or that's the DJ software,
Logic?
maybe.
I think it's Logic.
Okay,
that's what it's called. Logic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, behind me I have.
Essentially, I've been told. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, behind me I have Cool Edit or Adobe Audition, and that's what I've used since 2000, since the turn of the millennium. You know that, and I've used that exclusively. But I did go to school, and I used the Apple version of it as well, and it does work a little differently. But you know, people find what they like and they go with it. But you have Apple products? Is that what you have the Apple versions? And I know creatives seem to like that so much better.
Well, it's pretty. I mean, Apple is like, I've tried to go back to PC, and it doesn't make sense to me anymore because Apple is pretty logical. And the GarageBand, I got told once that you can use GarageBand until you find out that it's not enough, and when it's not enough, it's time to go to Logic, and that's where I'm at right now. Is it's just starting to be like I'm hitting limitations, but they made Logic, like all the functionality and layout of it is like GarageBand, so moving over to it is apparently not that bad. So.
See, I like that, you know, and I just upgraded my my turntables. I used to use Pioneer DDJs, the digital wheels of steel. I gave up my Technique, my actual vinyl record turntables back in '99, and I've been a digital DJ ever since. And back in '99, when I gave up the turntables, my goodness, did the other DJs look at me in such a look down at me. But then I've taught them, and they have learned that I'm ahead of the game. That now when somebody asks for a song, hey, could you play that Vince Warry, We Are the Light? Hold on, let me get that for you. 99 cents later, beep, 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 boop, boop, boop. I have it in my catalog, and I'm playing it for them. And it's less than whatever the internet, probably 30 seconds, I have it mixed in with the next song. And now I have every song ever made at my fingertips. But I did upgrade from the Pioneer DDJs, which are great, to the Rain Performer decks. And that's this much better. It gives me more ability to change. Okay, people can listen to the radio and listen to a song, but I can mix the song up in such a way that I'm remixing while I'm playing it. And it's, wow, how did you make him double up. He said that twice, and then you took what was on this part and moved it over there and put this part over here, and you used the hook over and over all through it. It just makes it more interesting than to just listen to the same song, that you heard on the radio. I'm sure how you perform
it. Dan remix. Hit me up with the Keys Dan remix sometime.
And this is what I do live. I hardly ever record it. But I'm guessing this is when you're performing on stage, you are trying to be true to the song, but you're also giving an experience to the people that are there in that room at that moment, at that time. They're going to get a Vince Warry, a Mojo Risin, a Lizard King, a performance that nobody else will ever get ever, is because you are connecting with that audience. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just can't seem to hit, I can sustain a note live quite long. I'm blessed with some good lungs, so I can go deep, but I can't seem to do it in the studio. It's all about the energy of the live show. So
that's amazing. I mean, have you ever had your guy record you digitally live? Because I know a lot of people, grab their cell phone and they'll record you, and you might put a little piece of that live performance on your Facebook or your Instagram just to let people know what the energy of a live performance. But have you ever recorded a live album from one of your performances?
I have not. That is definitely something to think about.
Well,
I've done that so far. I think in The Narcissist, I did. I was having a really good day in the studio, and I managed to lock in some of the longer calls, and you hear them in the track. They were definitely Jim edited them nicely, but so I don't know if that's just the comfort of me in the studio or not. Just sort of settling in, but definitely live. I'm singing live is my favorite thing.
Fantastic, man. I do have another YouTube page called Karaoke by Keys Dan. And for quite a few years, I was just running the sound digitally through the board and recording them, video, and then the sound would be digital. It wouldn't be coming like with room noise. It would only be coming from whatever came out of that microphone and the song. So I was putting up music videos of people singing at karaoke, and then I would send them to them, and they would go, "Wow, that sounds great," because it was digital. There's one thing about analog, but I've really embraced the digital since, I guess I went back to school in 2003 and learned all the new stuff. In '86, I knew how to go reel to reel and splice tape and, cut and splice and make new sounds and slow the tapes down to make them, to add more effects. That was back in the 80s. And then sampling other people's music. That was in the 80s. So I could have an MC rap over it. But, you got to embrace the new technology. You got to keep up with the now. And now that you're going from GarageBand to Logic, it's going to go that much better. It's going to take you to that next level, that next step. Now, I've had microphones over the years. I've had cheap ones, and I've had expensive ones. The one I'm using now is that Shure SMB that is all the rage now. And the one I liked before was the Electro Voice RE20 that broadcasters have been using since the early 70s. And then this one that I'm using now has been around. I guess Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on it, and it's been an industry standard ever since then, the Shure SMB. But this portion of the podcast brought to you by Shure SMB. Please send me about 8 more of these. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, but gear and equipment, and you're going to spend as much money as you want to invest in yourself. And you've found this microphone that is giving you a good sound, that is helping your interface. And, I have one of those red Scarletts sitting up there. I don't use it too much anymore, but I've had that over the years. And I know that's a pretty basic, like $150, and bam, you're connected to from your microphone and your instrument into your computer. and you're away you go. You can make simple stuff that you can send out on SoundCloud and make little demos, which is great, man. I love that people can do that. They can create for a little bit of money, investment in yourself and your creativity, and you could send it out to the world. And you've done that, man.
It's an awesome time for sure.
It is. It is. Well, what else is going on in the world of Vince Warry? Are you traveling around? Are you doing any shows? I know Big Records is really pushing you, and you're like intertwined with Big Records. What is going on with them? Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting tonight?
Probably, yes. I think actually, they just have. They're heavily with the Invictus Games right now. So they had Invictus Games is like an Olympics for veterans who were injured. So they've been doing a lot of stuff towards that. They just had a charity concert just yesterday, actually, that went down pretty well.
Where at?
Yeah. So I'm just quietly plugging away. I are actually trying to put together an EP. So we're actually going to be pushing 5 songs out here pretty rapidly. So
yeah, I've wondered, do people even do that anymore? Because I know records are getting smaller and smaller. If people are taking the time to put together a few songs and call it an album, they're getting shorter and shorter as time progresses, because people want to keep putting out those singles just so you stay relevant. So people, because of this ADHD or ADHD world that we're living in, if you're not sending stuff out daily, they're going to forget about you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think format wise, I'm going to use a memory key actually, and it's going to be just the past songs that I've done and maybe a couple that we haven't released as singles. And I might even, if I can swing it, I'll put all the videos on it too. So it'll be like a full package deal in one memory key.
So like a little thumbnail drive, you're going to hand, that is the record now. How are you going to put artwork and liner notes in that little thing? I guess it's all going to be included on a PDF, right?
The artwork is attached to the files, so when you see the song, it'll have the artwork there. I haven't thought about doing a cover or anything like that. I think it would just be, I was just going to put my logo on the outside of the flash drive. So
see, those were the days when I would pick up when I was doing the morning shows on terrestrial radio down in Miami, I would pick up a newspaper on the way in the door. But the other thing was grabbing an album off the shelf and saying, oh, let me read the liner notes as I introduce this song. Vince Warry, oh yeah, he's out of Canada, and he was thinking about this when, and I heard him on a podcast, and he was talking about when he was writing this Narcissist song, he wasn't actually thinking about President Trump, but but it's so coincidence how it happened that way.
Yeah.
No, but I missed liner notes.
Perfect moment in history.
Oh my goodness. And it all ties in, man. It all ties in. It's a topsy-turvy. I know we say it all the time that this world is getting crazy. This world is getting crazy. Yeah, it's actually getting crazier. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. Yeah. Worried? No, I can't say I'm worried. You're worried. Is that the play on your name your whole life? Come on now.
Whole life, Dan. Whole life. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I do. I perpetuate things. All right, my man. Well, I mean, you got any shows coming up real soon, or anything happening?
We are rolling out with Mojo Risin again. We're playing in Port Alberni at a theater there, and the Capitol, and we're playing at the Wicket Hall in Victoria, British Columbia, our provincial capital. March 15th and April 4th, respectively. And then it's time to get a bit more live Vince Warry out there, I think. So
Man, you're a busy, busy dude. And what specifically do you do with big records? You have, well, you said the Invictus Games. Where did that take place?
Well, that's going to take place up in Whistler. But yeah, I'm pretty quietly just foot soldiering along for them. So, yeah.
It's great, man. I mean, once you get to a certain level, you give back to the community. That is where we can take care of each other, is locally. Yes, those people in the federal buildings, they have a job to do as well. Hopefully they don't tear this world apart, but the local people, the people in your community, your concentric circles, your local city officials, those are the ones you really want to connect with and take care of each other, because we might end up being city states again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Back to the days of Rome and Greece, and well, I guess back in full circle when Narcissus was written back in 8 CE, as I see on the Wikipedia page.
8 CE, that was a good year.
Ovid's Metamorphosis, written in 8 CE. It's a Greek mythology. Yeah, Narcissus.
Right on.
All right, man. You're no narcissist. You're a good dude, and you take care of people, man. Just take care of a few people that have helped you along the way. Give some shout-outs, and we'll shut this thing down.
Oh, well, always thanks to my songwriting partner and guitarist and producer and videographer, Jim, and the guys in the band, Mojo Risin, who do a lot of music for me. Lindsay, our drummer, and Mojo, and also did some songs for me, who just moved to Calgary, so we lost him, sadly. To my lovely partner, Holly, who is always supportive, and the kids are all awesome too. So, yeah, I'm blessed.
You are blessed, man, and I'm blessed to know you. I'm glad to have you as a friend, bro, and I do enjoy seeing you come down my Facebook feed and my Instagram feed and even my YouTube feed. I knew about this song before you even told me about it, because I subscribed, and my loyal listener, you should subscribe as well and find out what's going on in the world of Vince Warry. Hey, when people want to connect with you and maybe want to collaborate and maybe have you on their on their projects, or you them on your projects, either way, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can find me at my website, vincewarry.com, Instagram, Vince Warry Official, Facebook, Vince Warry the Music, and YouTube, Vince Warry the Music.
Which one do you pay attention to the most?
Probably the Instagram.
Instagram. That seems to be what people were cutting down to, at least like a few years ago. Having all this social media was just getting crazy, and they just stripped down to Instagram, a picture, where I'm going to be, where you can find me, or where I was, and that's it. So easy, simple. Yeah. Keep it simple. All right, my friend. Let's close this down with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Vince Warry, give the last words for the people.
Hey, it's going to potentially get a little rocky here, so let's just remember that we're all in this together, and at the end of the day, watching our kids grow and be healthy, breathing fresh air, enjoying views, and just the simple things in life are what make the world go around. So don't get too angry. Remember, everybody's doing their best.
Well, there you have it, party people. Vince Warry. Find him on Instagram at Vince Warry Official. That is the best place to find him. And, of course, the vincewarry.com website. Check that out as well. But, the easiest, he's got the Facebook as well, where he posts all this stuff. But I guess Instagram and Facebook, if you post on one, it's going to hit the other. So if he's posting on Facebook, it's going to hit his Instagram. If he's posting on Instagram, it's going to hit his Facebook. So Vince Warry Official, VinceWarry Official on Instagram. Check it out. Oh my goodness. Find out where Vince Warry is going to be. Whether he's going to be Vince Warry, the man, or if he's going to be an impression, he becomes Mr. Mojo Risin, Jim Morrison, and the Doors. Oh my goodness. Good times. Good times. Always a good time talking to Vince Warry. Thank you so much for being a part of the What Makes You Famous podcast. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. I know we talked about a lot of stuff. What's going on in the world? It's on the top of our heads, both of us. And I know it's weighing down on me, and he's north of the border up in Canada. It's weighing down on him. All right. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.